Right, it's the 23 October 2016. Um, Actually, when I look at the presidency of Mrs. Clinton and Bill Clinton's presidency or Secretary of State, I figure that the strange thing about this is not maybe the power abuse and the rumors about sex scandals and drugs and stuff. The weird things about this is the, you could say, chaotic way of handling things, the mayors and the action taking in abuse of weak people as Søren Gade. He was weak, the Danish defense minister, because his wife was sick of cancer. Meant that he would, he was devastated probably. I also think that the upcoming of the entertainment and probably also some of the chances of foreign diplomacy and market opening and stuff would do that some of the important people in Denmark would kind of say yes, we don't need this diplomacy of hers, Northern Ireland, co-war, DDR, and ex-Yugoslavia, and Pakistan, India, and Arabian countries, because we would like it for ourselves, right? So you could say that there was all in all kind of crimes committed to somebody or someone. There's always often more than one interest, more than one incident of circumstances. So, in a way, you could see that the crime was at front of the case all the time. I'm fully aware that we were, I mean, we were in a risk for a longer time than 2011-12, for sure. And the crime committed was a lower crime, entertainment, industrial espionage, pedophilia, and the higher crime was interest of Denmark and interest of, no, actually not interest of Denmark, interest of a criminal abuse or diplomacy of a crime against her own diplomats, right? It is not an interest of Denmark or United States or England. It is a crime within the state operative state leadership. And that is the weird thing about this, because it's not a structure where you could say that somebody benefit from this as a kind of trying to make peace or winning a war. This is like some kind of chaotic mind that thinks that if we hide away this person's high rank intelligence diplomacy and her lost income, our benefit, then I will be more important. I think this crime of the Clintons and her abuse of power against her own staff and against weaker foreign governments actually shows a very confused and actually weak minded person. Actually illustrates the abuse of Bill Clinton diplomacy in Northern Ireland, and then reflects a not so good marriage, maybe, or maybe a kind of mental weakness by both of them in this, maybe rely on the hard work, can't tell. But in a way, you could say that the scandals about being attacked by target by organized crime, by sex offers or related drugs things is a everyday risk for top politics. There's nothing new. So you could say the administration of this kind of thing was not good enough. And we also think it's a little dummy thing to think that this kind of cover up after September 12th, that it would work. I think it's a bit lost IQ on the way if Clinton thinks that a cover up inside of her staff, knowing the Pentagon and the CIA, and also her counterpart would know about this. Of course they would. It's a, I never seen anyone producing becoming a spy without getting detected at some point. They might be successful, but in some point it is a discovery. Because I think that that in all kind of position, high-level executive directors or high-level politicians, high-level police people will always stand to offer for corruption, abuse of power, easy access to drugs, sex, and luxury houses and stuff. That's an everyday thing. The weird thing is the chaotic way she demonstrates to abuse this. That's weird. Then I have, frankly, I've been looking at the Kennedy photos. There's a specific one picture from a boat where there's a very frightened small boy, John F. Kennedy, and a nurse or nanny standing with beside of her on looks like a boat, and that's pretty interesting person, the woman. I also noticed that a lot of the child photos of John F. Kennedy, he looks terrified, which is I get really sad when I see it. And now we both have the memory of the Cold War. We have the memory of the Nazism, Second World War. We have the option, the parents that not often were around. We have the horrifying stories about nannies and stuff. I just wonder where where this went wrong in the assassination of JFK. Could be that the analysis point in the direction that some set up around him might have been earlier, but I also think that what I said on the tape of about I played the video, the new pictures slow, and then I photoed in the video, and there's a person along the road who actually falls with both hands stretched in front of him. Looks like a little bit like a attack, gunpoint kind of thing. It also looks like the scars that the Kennedy has is close up. So actually, I think that there's been a construction of probably one or more person that kind of signal each other and there is the rumors about the mafia, which I think when I look at all this, I don't think that United States in the Cold War, heated up Cold War, would kind of take down one of their presidents. No way. There must have been some dynamic in the internal enemy picture of internal black money market mafia, or some links to the Cold War or the Nazistic War. There's really not that much else, right? There was also some very interesting YouTube video of a very old person talking about some meeting in before the killing, where she talked about some of the important leaders, and I think that actually tells me, as always, there is a mix between interests of organized crime and top politics, and I think that's it, actually. Actually, we see that today also. Actually, the weak of this mafia-run politics or opposite thing is that there's no control, right? In the control of this case of the Clintons and Søren Gade, the control system works too late. The control system of the cover-up of court cases, lawyers, media don't work. And it looks like they get away with it because they can, right? So actually what we need is bigger awareness of the control of the system and when they fail to stop them, right? So we have a line between the state and commune and police, and a line between a buffer zone where the criminals on the one side, the state and the hospitals and the armies on the other side, and in between, me and my son could have lived, right? Now I belong to the diplomacy, so I would be on the state side. I don't need to actually attend to be in fear of the mafia, right? Or what? So actually we need a buffer zone between organized crime and the state. They need to be divided, and there need to be some space where people don't fear organized crime or state abuse.